Good morning, everyone. I'm here and I'm crocheting in the round. This seems to be my favorite style of crocheting. Um, it seems to be a lot more cleaner and neater and nice. So this is probably one of my favorite ways to crochet is in the round, what's called in the round. I've made quite a few of these. I've made also quite a few different items. These are all free-handed. I don't really use patterns. Sometimes the patterns are a little confusing to me. So I just kind of freehand everything. I made this little uh, I call it a hat. Could be a sombrero, could be a little doll hat, a teddy bear hat, anything. But this is something I've created myself. No patterns, just kind of freehanded. And just kind of created it myself. Um, I was able to get the chat option working again. So now, if you feel like you would like to reach out and chat with me, you are good to do that, and I will respond. I made some different things here. I'm just tried to do some like overlay stitching on a few things. This is very basic, very generic. I do have it does have some texture here. Has kind of a ribs texture here. Um, so if you see this, let me take this off there. Um, I am actually in the process of making a scarf with this pattern. It's kind of double crochet, and then under each stitch, um, I go underneath each stitch and then kind of pull up, and then it creates this ribbed pattern. So as if you see here on this top row here, I will actually crochet in between each one of these, and then it'll make this will become the ridge um, side, and it'll kind of look like this. Originally, this was going to be made for a friend. She actually is from Turkey, and her country flag is a red flag with a moon and a star. I didn't quite get that look and effect, but it kind of gave me a way to do a somewhat small version of that and see what I could do and how the stitches would work. So that's kind of something I've created. I've also created some things such as these with different patterns. Here's little bit of a different pattern. It's more like a little kind of a blockchain pattern. I've created quite a few of these. I do like this stitch here. It's usually like 3 double crochets, and then you move on to the next one, and it kind of builds that pattern there. I've also created. I wanted this to end up being some kind of like Santa Claus type design. The white obviously is going to be kind of the beard, and this red is going to be obviously like a Christmas hat type thing. I haven't quite finished this yet. I haven't figured out what I want to really do with this yet. It's just kind of some basic things that I've been working on. Here, I kind of started working on what's called the shell stitch or ridge stitch. And I didn't really get too far on this because I kind of ran out of the color that I really wanted to use. So this is kind of a neat little stitch that they've created, a ridge, and you just kind of build off this, and then each color kind of just creates a striped effect. I'm not sure really what I wanted to make out of that. I guess if you think about it, you could actually turn this into, I don't know, animal teddy bear clothes or a doll clothes or whatever you want to do with that. So I have my little handy dandy little basket here with all my yarn. I do like to order some yarn that comes in a multi-pack. And I'll show you that. the multi-pack, usually I order it and it usually comes like this. So it comes with 20 assorted colors, and so if you ever want to order any of your own yarn, I do like to order my things from Amazon. Sometimes I really find some really good deals on there. Sometimes they have a lot of coupons that you can use. I use various needles, crochet needles. Currently, I really like the small ones. They seem to make a little bit the work that I do. It seems a little more neater and smaller, so it's not as large. I think sometimes the larger work has a lot of bulk, and it's very hard to get the needles to go where I want them to go. And I crochet a little bit faster with the smaller needles. I also do have a set of Tunisian hooks. These are similar to when you're working with, it's kind of a mix. Tunisian hooks are kind of a mix between crochet needles and knitting needles. Because the way you do Tunisian crochet is you kind of you crochet it, and then when you're working back through it, every stitch stays on your needle. So then you work back through it once you have completed the stitch, and you just work back through, and then it ends up creating more of a different textured pattern for the Tunisian stitch. There are multiple types of stitches for the Tunisian crochet stitch. So I haven't really gotten into that much because I really want to come out with a certain look, and I really haven't figured out how to do the stitch for that. And then there's also, with crocheting, there's also this, I'm not really sure what the name of it is. It's where you crochet different items and they turn into like little animals. So you kind of create animals, and then depending on what stitch you use, it depends on what the texture is for the animal. So this is somewhat similar to what I've done. So this stitch actually on this one, if you can see the ridges here, this is a Tunisian stitch. So they're a little different stitch than, say, a regular crochet stitch. The pattern is very different. This one is more tightly woven stitch, so it's not as stretchy and open as a normal crochet stitch. So I like this stitch, but it does take a while, and a lot of times what happens is this becomes really, really tight and it starts to curl. And then I haven't really figured out yet how to keep it from curling, because I really like this stitch. Like right now, I've been playing with this one, and it's kind of actually is kind of like the beginnings of like either like a mitten, like I could finish this and create like a mitten, or or the other thing is to put it on like a sock or a slipper. If you can see inside here, it could be, if I extend it out more, it could end up being like a sock or a slipper. So those are the different types of things that you can create with this stitch. So I really haven't finished that. I really feel like I'm one of those people who start a bunch of projects and don't quite really get anywhere. I did recently create I created a blanket, a throw blanket. I may show that later on my channel, all of the different things that I created. I have created a couple scarves. Those really crochet really, really fast. I do a lot of double crochets or triple crochets, and it kind of basically, it really, really, really creates it really quickly. So in a matter of a couple rows, you've already got like probably 2 feet of crochet work done, because the stitches are very long, so they make the work very quick. So scarves are probably the fastest thing. I haven't really got into a lot of bulk stitches, like for like blankets, like really big blankets or plushy blankets. There's a lot of fabric out there for those, or yarn out there for those, that can work up really quickly. I just haven't had the time to actually work on those or buy any of that yarn. I do have the needles. Like I say, I have a ton of stuff. So I mean, some of these needles are like really large, so they can easily create a lot of projects and large stitching. But you also have to make sure that when you do use these needles, that you use the correct yarn. Because a lot of times, what happens is I'm not using the right yarn for the right needle, and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. So that's something I'm working on. So like here's an even larger needle. This is a 15.75 millimeter. This is a Q needle, Q17. It's pretty large. Each needle has a letter associated with it as well as a size. So this is a P16. So this is a little bit smaller than that one. So I have a number of needles. I have a number of yarns. I just buy my yarn every other week or so. I just go on Amazon or somewhere, and I just go buy yarn. And I've often gone to some of the craft stores and bought yarn there. These are all of my Tunisian knitting needles. So these are really helpful in making like large blankets or larger items or designs. It helps you, basically this plastic here helps you keep your stitch on there so you can work through it. Obviously, if something is this large, it's probably going to be like a blanket. So that's, these are pretty large. So, I mean, the needles go all the way from the end of here all the way to here. And that means that your work can be at least that long. So like me, that would be a blanket. But of course, I'd want to use a larger needle such as this to work the blanket stitches. So something that's out there. I really have been self-taught on all of this. I used to do this as a kid with my grandparent, my grandmother. We used to crochet all the time. It really never made sense when I started it then. But then as I got as an adult, I started making more crafts. I started making more different things. I'm very crafty. I like to make things. And so it wasn't until I became an adult, and of course the popularity of YouTube and all those things, like learning all the different stitches and people teaching you, I've been able to learn a lot more. I've learned a lot more different stitches and different yarns and different ways to make things and build things. So it's pretty neat, all of the different things that you're able to do. So I've just been working away. I mean, this is something kind of like, this is like some people have certain things that they're like, that's their stress reliever. This seems to be one of my stress relieving type hobbies. I mean, I get to stitching, and by the time that I know it, it's a couple hours later, and I'm like, oh wow, the time has gone by so fast. So that's kind of one of the things I do like about it, is that it seems to be kind of like a stress relieving hobby. So when I get off work, my normal work, I work from home. So my normal work, while I'm in between calls or working with my clients, I'm usually making something. So every day it feels like I have some kind of project that I've started. I have a number of these. So like I said before, I have a friend who is from Turkey. I created a couple of the evil eye, the Turkish evil eye rounds. Basically, this is the dark center, and then you have the color of the eye, and then you have the white, and then you have another color on the outside. So she's used a couple of those in her house. I kind of made those for her. She liked those. I've made I've made a couple of scarves. I haven't given them away yet. I do want to give them away. I really thought about using them or building them, and somehow getting them to like the homeless shelters or the homeless people, especially during the wintertime because it gets cold. And I feel like that's kind of something that I would like to do, and help the homeless people kind of build, make these scarves and give them out. And just so that they're not cold. So that's something I think about doing. I may do that later and finish the scarves that I have and just give them away and you know and see what happens. So does anybody have any comments? Or they want to share, or I know I think I have a couple people watching, but I don't have any comments yet. So it would be nice if I did have somebody comment. All right. Well, so they don't have any. This video is now 16 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video. If you would like to reach out, I'm sure there's a way to reach out to me. I'm not sure if I'll probably try to respond in the comments if there's any comments left. Of course, this is a hobby. This is not like something I do professionally. Obviously, I'm not a professional at this. This is just something I have a hobby of doing, and I wanted to show people, everybody in the world can do this. You don't have to be old. You don't have to be a lady. You can just buy the needles, buy the yarn, start learning how to do it. I think it's a nice thing to do, to be able to create something and show people, because all of these things are unique. So every piece that's made is handmade. And I think there's a thing out there that said that, there is no machine out there that can crochet, because because the amount of engineering that it would take in order to create the stitches that are needed to make. It can't be done by a machine. It all has to be done by hand. So a lot of times when you see this type of stuff out in the world, it's mostly made by hand. So there's a little bit of it's almost like you could say a little bit of that person's soul is in these items that are made. So I'll leave you with that. And if you have any comments or questions or whatever, just leave those here. I'm gonna make this video public, live, so everybody can see it. If you do have any comments, let me know, concerns, or if you want to know where to get your items, I can point you in the right direction and maybe get you started on your path to creating different types of items and goods. And who knows, you could one day sell these at little craft markets or craft stores or at little craft things that are in your city. Hopefully everybody is staying safe, and hopefully they'll start opening up a lot more of these types of venues and arts and crafts festivals and stuff, so then people can get back to enjoying socializing with people and being with people. So thanks for watching. If you watch this, go ahead and hit the bell button, the like button, the comment, anything, and subscribe if you want to. And I'll try to create more of these later down the road. All right. Thank you very much, and y'all have a good day.